So Mo, you mean to tell me that if I rebalance, I am 100% guaranteed to make more money than if I don't rebalance? There's no risk in doing rebalancing? Obviously not. There is no one thing in investing or in trading that will always yield a better return than not doing something else all of the time. We're never looking at if something works every single time. We're looking at its impact over time, right? So basically, what are the risks with rebalancing? There are risks. What happens if you have 5 coins, like the ones we had, and one of them is constantly going down in value, it's dropping. And then you keep selling the others to buy more of it, so you keep the portfolio balanced, and it keeps dropping. And you keep selling the others to buy more of it, and it keeps dropping, and it keeps dropping. And it drops the value of your portfolio. Your portfolio lags because of it, compared to if you weren't rebalancing. Because if you weren't rebalancing, you wouldn't be putting more money into it. And when it's falling, well, that's cool. It's only affecting its own allocation and not more than that by taking money from the others and putting it in itself. So that is a risk. Okay. And there's also the risk, but again, that risk, I don't see it as a rebalancing risk. I see it as a coin selection risk. And you shouldn't have maybe selected that coin. But it is something that's there where you could have made more money by not rebalancing than rebalancing. And that is what risk is. Risk is something adverse happening based on the action you took. Another risk is if the market, if one of your coins starts flying off, goes 20% up, 50% up, 100% up, and you're selling it and putting it back in other coins. And then it does another 100% up, which we've seen a lot of these coins do. And then what you do is you again, but the others haven't went up, so where you should rebalance by selling it and putting it back in the others. But then it keeps going up again. Well, in that situation, a buy and hold and not rebalancing would have been better. Why? Because when it went up, you wouldn't have sold to put in the others, and you would have had more of it, and it would have went up more, so you would have made more money on that one. But these are situations that might happen, and you know what? These are situations that will happen in some occasions. But when I'm talking about rebalancing and theory and practical things that we do, we're never talking about one situation. We're talking about overall, right? If you do this all the time, yes, even if one time, something did go up more and went up more, in general, when you're doing this, in the end, after looking at months or a year, you are making money, So for me, on my accounts, rebalancing helped me in the last year double the number of coins I had than if I just did a buy and hold, which is ridiculous. And again, in stocks, it doesn't do that much money. I think because cryptos are so much more, because cryptos are so much volatile, it helps so much. But if I would have just bought and hold, and I selected great coins, I did my research, did everything. If I did a buy and hold versus rebalancing, by rebalancing, I would have doubled the amount of coins. So as the market was going up, I made way more. And as the market crashed, I was able to preserve my capital by selling and buying, and I preserved way more capital than other people. And because of that, as the market picks up again, I have way more coins, so then it generates even more. So there's so much added value. But it's not because there's added value that there's no risk. There's risk with everything. We actually don't want to do anything that has no risk, because if something has no risk, it also has no return. That's the truth. I know some people want to find a magic recipe, but sorry to break it to you, that doesn't exist. There is risk in everything. But when you're managing your risk and it's appropriate risk and you can hold it, it's not a problem, right? Yeah, so that's, the risks in rebalancing. But again, if you look at it at a longer term, after several rebalancing periods, it definitely beats a just buy and hold, even though on some occasions, a buy and hold for that week or that month would have been better. Overall, rebalancing would yield you a better return.